We have our descriptive form of parabolas, which is this form up here that we worked with all day yesterday. But sometimes we are going to be given an equation of a circle that does not look like it's in this form. Okay, so look at example 1. First question, is this a circle? It is. How can I tell? It has an x squared and a y squared. What is different about this equation than that one? It has this extra 4x in there, right? So what we're going to do is we want to try and make this guy look like this. Does anybody remember what something that looks like this is called? If I have a binomial being squared, what is that called? It's not a difference of two squares. It's a perfect square trinomial. This, if we were to FOIL all of this out, it would come out to be a perfect square trinomial. So what we're going to do here is very similar to what we did on Friday. We want to make these x's a perfect square trinomial so that we can factor it so it looks like that. So does anybody have an idea of what we're going to do? We did it on Friday with parabolas. We're going to complete the square. So what we want to do here is whenever we have terms with the same variable in it, we're going to group them. So we're going to group all the x's together. Now the y's we don't really have to worry about because there's no other y's in here besides the y squared. So we just get to leave y by alone this time. So what we're going to do first is rewrite this, but with completing the square we have to fill in the blanks. So let's just rewrite x squared plus 4x plus blank plus y squared equals 0. And remember, whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. So we have to put in a plus blank right here as well. Okay, how do I fill in the blank? Who remembers that? Negative b. No, not negative b over 2a. That's vertex of a parabola. It's b over 2 squared. So we're going to take that 4 divided by 2 and then square the answer. So 4 divided by 2 gives me 2, and 2 squared is 4. So in the blanks, I'm going to put a 4. Okay, looking at this thing right here, this is now a perfect square trinomial. How could we factor it? 2 and 2, so we could say x plus 2 squared, right? Plus y squared equals what? 4. Does this look like the descriptive form of a circle now? Yes, it does. So can we use this to find the center and the radius? We can. What is the center? Negative 2, 0. What's the radius? R squared is equal to 4. So taking the square root of both of those gives me R equal to 2. Very similar to what we did with parabolas on Friday, except this time we will sometimes have to do it to the x's and the y's, so we'll have to do it twice. Does that make sense, guys? All we're doing is completing the square so that we can factor it so it looks more like a circle. So, example 2, very similar, except this time we have an extra y and no extra x's. So what I want you guys to do is try example 2 by yourselves, doing the exact same thing I just did in example 1. Alright guys, so what did you do first? So we grouped the y's, right? So we're going to group the y's here. Then what do we want to do? We want to rewrite it and put in what? The blank. So that's going to be x squared. We get to leave it by itself because there were no other x's in there. Plus y squared plus 10y plus blank equals 0 plus blank. Okay, what went into the blank? Good job, 25. So we put 25 in the blanks. Okay, so this is going to be x squared plus, how does that guy factor? Y plus 5 squared equals 25. Is this descriptive form of a circle? It is. So we want to use this equation to find our center. What's our center? 0, negative 5. Excellent. And what is our radius? 5. Who got that? So, what happens when we have an extra x and an extra y? Nothing. We just do the same thing but twice. So, the first thing we want to do is let's group the x's and group the y's. And then let's rewrite it filling in the blanks. So we have 3x squared minus 12x plus blank plus 3y squared plus 18y plus blank equals 9. Okay, question. I have 2 blanks added in here. So how many blanks do I have to add to the right-hand side?
2.
Also 2. Because will these 2 blanks necessarily be the same number? No, so I have to add the extra number twice. Okay. Can I complete the square yet? No, there's a number in front of the x squared, so what do I have to do? But I don't want to do bottoms up. That's too much work. What do we want to do? What can we do here? GCF, there's a 3 in there, right? Bottoms up would be way too much. So let's factor out a 3. So this is going to be 3x squared minus 4x plus blank plus, and then what's the GCF in this one? Also 3. So 3 times y squared plus 6y plus blank equals 9 plus blank plus blank. Okay. One other thing we have to remember when we're completing the square and we factored out a 3. Since I factored out a 3 here, this number is going to be different. What do I have to remember to do on the right-hand side for that blank?
You can just divide everything by 3 in the first place.
No, you have to wait until the end, otherwise your answer is going to come out different. What do I have to do? I have to multiply each of these blanks by 3 also, because all I did here was factor out a 3. In the original equation, it's factoring the 3 back in, so I would have to multiply this blank by 3 anyway. So when I put it on the right-hand side, I have to multiply it by 3. So what I suggest is that you just write it in automatically. So if you ever factor something out, write it in on the right-hand side right away. That way, we won't forget to do it later. Now, whatever I put in the parentheses is going to be whatever I put in the parentheses here. Does that make sense? Okay, so what goes into the blank here? I take negative 4 divided by 2 squared. Negative 4 divided by 2 gives me negative 2 squared, which is positive 4. So I'm going to put 4 right here and put 4 right here. And then we do the same thing here. So 6 divided by 2 squared gives me 3 squared, which is 9. So we put 9 in those blanks. Okay, let's simplify. This is going to be 3 times. How does the x's factor? Is it x minus 2 or x plus 2? It's going to be x minus 2, because remember, the number is whatever we got before we squared it. So that's going to be x minus 2 squared plus 3 times y plus 3 squared. Okay. Equals, this is going to be 9 plus 12 plus 27. So what does that give me? 48. Okay, do I look like the descriptive form yet? I'm almost there. What's one other thing I can do? We can divide everything by 3. So we divide everything by 3. Those 3's are going to cancel. And it's going to give me x minus 2 squared plus y plus 3 squared equals 16. Now is it in descriptive form?
Yes.
Yes, it is. Okay, so we're in descriptive form. What is my center? 2, negative 3. And what is my radius? 4. Awesome. Example 4 is exactly like example 3, except for one thing different. Here I have 6x squared plus y squared, 6y squared minus 36x plus 12y plus 42. What's different here? I have a plus 42 and what else? They're all mixed up, right? But we can mix it back to the way we want it, correct? What do you want to do first, though?
Subtract 42.
Yeah, let's get rid of that 42. Move it to the other side. And then how do we want to group these? Are you guys okay if I do these 2 steps in the same one?
Yeah.
Okay, how do we want to group this? We have an x or a 6x squared grouped with a what?
Negative 36x.
Good job. Negative 36x. So let's write that. 6x squared minus 36x plus blank. And then I have a plus 6y squared and a plus 12y. So let's do plus 6y squared plus 12y plus blank equals negative 42 plus blank plus blank. Okay. What do you guys want to do next? Take out a 6. So let's take out a 6. That's going to give me x squared minus 6x plus blank plus 6 times y squared plus 2y plus blank equals negative 42 plus blank, and let's write the 6's in right now so that way we don't forget to do it later. Okay, can you guys finish it?
Yeah.
Or just fill in the blanks for me? How do I fill in those blanks? Okay guys, what did you get for those blanks?
X minus 3 squared.
9 right here in the x's, so we're going to put 9 right here.
1.
And what goes here? 1. Good. Okay, so we did negative 6 divided by 2 squared, which gave me negative 3 squared, which gives me 9. That's how I got this one. This one, same thing. We have 2 divided by 2, and then we square that. So that gives me 1 squared, which equals 1. So we fill in 1 into the y's. Okay, so let's factor these x's. How would the x's factor? X what? Minus 3. Good. Squared. Plus 6 times y. And what does this one become? Plus 1. Squared. Equals, okay, this is negative 42 plus 54 plus 6. Did anybody get that yet? 18. Okay. What can I do next? Excellent. We divide it all by 6. So that gives me, let me write it over here, x minus 3 squared plus y plus 1 squared equals 3. That is my descriptive form. From this, what is the center? Excellent. 3, negative 1. What is the radius? Square root of 3. Remember, this is the r squared, not the r. So we have to take the square root of both sides to get our r. Okay? So that's how we find r for the radius. So, example 5. This is going to be very similar to what's on your quiz today. What I would like you guys to do is do the whole thing by yourself. Give me the center and the radius. You are lucky because there's nothing in front of the x squared or the y squared. So we're not going to have to do that factoring step, the GCF. Okay? Okay, guys, what did you do first? You move the 11. Good. Okay, so let's add 11 to both sides. And how do we want to group these?
X's and Y.
The x's and y's. So is everybody okay with me doing that in one step?
Yes.
Okay, so this becomes x plus 2x, or no, sorry, x squared, plus 2x plus blank, plus y squared plus 4y plus blank, equals 11 plus blank plus blank. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, do I have to factor anything out of these ones? No. So what goes in the blanks here?
1 and 4.
1, 1, 4, 4. Good. Okay, let's factor these perfect square trinomials. How does the x's factor?
X plus 1.
X plus 1 squared plus,
Y plus 2 squared.
good job, y plus 2 squared equals 11 plus 4 plus 1 is 16. Okay, this is the form I want. So what was my center? Good, -1, -2, and radius is 4. You guys are good with this, right?
Yeah.
Not too bad? Okay, so let's look at example 6. I promised you guys that every set of notes was going to have problems like this so that we can get ready to identify them. So we are looking still at just circles, parabolas, or neither. A, y equals 2. Which one is that?
Neither.
It's neither. Does anybody know what it is?
Line.
It's a line. Is it vertical or horizontal? Horizontal. It's a line that looks like this because all the y's are the same. Okay, B, y equals 2x squared plus 7. Parabola. How do you know?
The X squared.
There's just one x squared here, nothing else. So what about C? Read it carefully. How do you know? There's an x squared. Well, it could have been neither parabola, neither. But how do you know it's a circle?
Because the X squared and the Y squared.
Because there's an x squared and a y squared. We could rewrite this so it looks like a descriptive form, right? It would just take some more work. Okay, so this is a circle. So, parabolas and circles are what we've covered so far. Friday we're going to do ellipses, so we're learning something new.